Hey, y'all, football season is back. Can't wait. I also can't wait to enter into this partnership with DraftKings. I'm really excited about it. Big announcement. Greenlight Pod, DraftKings, doing a gambling show all season long with my man Stanford Steve. And that partnership has actually begun, so let's get it going. Welcome to the Greenlight Gambling Show, which is brought to you by DraftKings. This feels good, dude. It's gambling, it's sponsorship, it's football. It's my friend Stanford Steve who's going to be with us all fall. This is awesome. Steve, how you doing?
Awesome, Chris. The most important thing you said there, sponsorship. That's a key thing. You see, we're going on year 2 now here with the green light. Yeah. It is, it's popping up all over. But pumped to have it going. Pumped to have some stuff to talk about. So happy to be back. I really am,
dude. It's like it's been tough not seeing your friends, but everybody's kind of kept in touch. But the one thing that'll really elevate all the group texts and everything will be football gambling.
No doubt. I mean, ESPN and us coming out with the schedule now and knowing we got some Thursday nights, SEC taking a place of the Big Ten at noon. That's just, it's there, baby. It's there for the taking.
Can we, the PSA to all the football players around the country, you guys are doing a tremendous public service right now, whether you're college athletes or pro athletes. Be safe, be responsible. And let's get through this season. Let's have some fun, okay, guys? If you're listening to the Greenlight Gambling Podcast, which I know you're not supposed to. So basically, we're going to go division by division, and let's see if anything jumps out at us, whether they be prop bets or otherwise, player props or totals with these respective teams here. We've got the NFC East. Let's start off right there. Is there anything that jumps out at you from the NFC East? I'm seeing Cowboys 9.5 wins, Giants 6, Eagles 9, Washington 5.
Love the Cowboys. We had, I know you've had Bill Barnwell on. Yeah. We had Bill Barnwell on with Van Pelt and I on Scott's podcast this week. And I wanted to talk about the Cowboys. I just love the idea of them offensively. I still think the O-line gets overshadowed with how good they are. Zach Martin's just incredible to me. I could watch that guy line up every day. Yeah. But, you add CeeDee Lamb, who's a receiver where you could throw anywhere, outside in the slot, one-on-one, trips receiver packages. Zeke's obviously the horse that's going to go to. Dak still is proving himself to me. Barnwell said that he thinks their offense is going to be better than the Chiefs. Now, That's saying something there. I just think they're better, and I don't think anyone is in their class in the division.
And you like the Cowboys over.
Yes.
I caution you as far as they're out of conference scheduling, but I think they're going to be damn good. I'm not going to argue with you there. There's one bet that stood out here for me. I think if you want to help Vegas, because Vegas has been hurting, I'm going to give this play out. Washington plus. How many zeros? 15,000 to win the Super Bowl, plus 1,300 to win the division. If you feel bad for Vegas and you want to chip in, that'd be a good value there. Also, a player prop, Chase Young over under 8.5 sacks. I like the under, but it's going to be close. If you look at it, Nick Bosa had 8.5 on the nose last year. Joey had 10.5 his rookie year. Nick Bosa was on a damn good defense with a lot of leads and some good guys on D-line. I understand that the Washington D-line is very deep and very good, but there's also a lot of mouths to feed, too, on the edge. I think Chase Young might be just under 8.5 sacks, which would be still a very successful rookie year.
I can't wait to watch him play football. Moving here now, Chris, and watching their practice updates every day and being on the field with him a couple times in his career, I can't wait to see how he translates. He's like nobody I've ever seen. I went to 2 Ohio State games last year and I made it a point to go out an individual and just watch him because I've never seen somebody that big and look like it's like a Greek goddess. Yeah, a god. He's sculpted like it's unbelievable.
Like a Greek goddess. So
I can't wait to see. I actually want to see you, being able to break them down and see what you see. That's what I'm fired up for.
I'm so afraid to make a determination on pass rushers because it's just a guessing game. And I know I'd feel good about being right and saying he's going to be this or that. I love to just sit back and watch these rookies play, especially the rushers. It's so hard to predict. I'm taking the under. It sounds like you take the over on that. If you had,
I don't know. You know way more about me. I love the defensive line talent they have. I don't know what they're going to do with snaps wise. They are going to be trailing a lot in games, so I don't know how many opportunities they're going to have. So that's a really good number, though. I'll tell you that.
NFC North, real quick. We got the Bears 7.5 wins, Lions 6.5, Packers 8.5, 9. I'll start with a good value here that I think I see on player props. Trubisky to be the starter day one, plus 130. Dude, I just talked to Dan Orlovsky. The word is that the vibe they're getting is with Nick's ceiling, Nick's not going to be the difference that's going to win you a Super Bowl. It's all about that defense. Give the kid that you drafted one more chance to get this thing right day one. And if shit hits the fan, you've got a Super Bowl MVP waiting in the wings. But I think week one, Trubisky is going to be the starter. That would be a player prop I'd give out in this division.
Yeah, that's plus money, you said. Yeah. Because I saw Foles is minus 160 or something, right?
Minus 167. Trubisky's plus 130. And I tend to agree. And Nick Foles is my boy. I think eventually he wins that job. But Mitchell Trubisky is probably going to be the starter week one.
Got it. I've come to the fruition that I think everything is better in the NFL when the Bears are good.
Yes.
So I like rooting for the Bears. They still got enough pieces to me on the defensive side, no doubt. So
they could win the division if you get the good Nick Foles. I mean, they could be anything if you get the good Nick Foles. But the question's been, which Nick Foles you're going to get? You wonder if maybe Matt Nagy, the Kansas City connection, is going to bring him more towards being that kind of guy that he was in Philly in both stops, and not the St. Louis or Jacksonville Nick Foles. But, I mean, they're a hard team to call here.
Really hard. And I think the biggest unit to me that makes a difference in this division is the Vikings offensive line.
Yeah.
If they're good, I think the Vikings are top in this league. But I look at the way the other teams are built, and I think they're able to feast on that Vikings offensive line a little bit. So I would lean towards Minnesota winning the division, but I'm rooting for the Bears over.
Yeah,
so if I had to do that, I would bet the
Vikings plus 160 to win the division.
Yeah, they're the favorite.
Packers plus 180. So I didn't love any of the values there as far as winning the division was concerned. Certainly not winning the Super Bowl. If there's a Super Bowl winner out of this division, I don't know what I'll do, but maybe you can comment and tell me what I should do if I lose that bet. Nobody's winning the Super Bowl out of this division. Save this clip. NFC South. Listen, the prop bet that stood out to me. Drew Brees leading the league in passing plus 2,500, if I read that right. He's done it 7 times, but there's no reason to think he's not going to light it up as far as the yardage thing is concerned. Also, Godwin in Tampa to lead the league in receptions. I think he's going to get a lot of balls this year. I think he is the guy who touches the rock the most when you look at him and Mike Evans. With Tom's arm and where he is in his career, I think Godwin's going to get a lot of touches.
All right, I will say this. The Saints, this is it. This is their last stand. Researcher from our show and I were going through the cap for next year. That team is screwed as far as the cap next year.
Yeah.
So are your Eagles too, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is it. And I just can't. Every time I think about you could write do a movie on the endings to their last 3 seasons. It's incredible.
Yes.
From where they have been and what they've done and Breeze's accomplishments and implementing Michael Thomas and seeing what he does and then bringing in Kamara. And then it's so good. It's just fun to watch. And then it gets down to crunch time and they get it handed to them. And it's just, it's gotta be it. And I really worry about the tires on Drew. I know, there's been some arm stuff. I've seen some guys talk about the release and the throwing motion and all that stuff. And how many deep outs he's throwing compared to what he used to. So that is a major concern for me. I know they got my man famous Jameson, behind them. So they helped themselves there. And God only knows what he could do with Peyton, as you mentioned.
That's a great move by Jameis. I thought that was a really mature move by him.
But then, you go down Atlanta, Carolina. I don't know if there's another division that has two teams that I think are going to be as low as those two. Does that make any sense? I think it's Tampa and New Orleans here. You think there's going to be
a big difference between I will push back and maybe this is fool's gold for me seeing the second half of last team with the Falcons once they reshuffled things. 7.5 is their total. I would take the over on that. I also think it's a decent
Okay.
It's kind of like hey, fuck it, throw your hat in there. Plus 5,000 would be Super Bowl odds for them. Plus 800 to win the division. Now plus 800 to win the division, I might just have some fun with that because I like Dan Quinn. I will pull for Matt Ryan. And the second half of last year, they looked like a different team.
Yeah, but you also had that crazy streak a couple years back. It was I think it lasted 8 years where a new team won the division or the last place team won the division the next year in that division. So
it's been a shit show there.
Yeah, I really am intrigued to see Matt Rule in Carolina, though. Joe Brady calling the plays and knowing what McCaffrey could do. And you saw what Brady did with Edwards-Helaire at LSU. Teddy Bridgewater, getting his due and getting his spot. They'll be fun to watch. But I don't think they're in the class of Tampa and New Orleans. And when you look at Tampa, I just think the defense is going to be improved just because of the situations that their offense put with the turnovers. Put them in last year. So Brady's not going to turn the ball over like Jameis did. They had another piece with Fournette, obviously. I think that hype train is going to be astronomical by the time we get to 10 days from now.
So get it now at 9.5 wins. Get the over on that thing. NFC West.
Love it. This is what I'm talking about here.
Fun division. You told me last night, has anything changed, that you like the Niners to take a step back?
I do. I've been watching the injuries in practice, Chris. There's a lot of stuff that's got to go right. You know that, especially in a camp like this. And you mentioned it with the Lions and needing a fast start. I think the Niners, they better start out well. Look at their schedule. They better. I think they have to be 4-1 for them to go over. But 10.5 was the number that I had. I think that division's so improved. If you're gonna say the Rams or the Cardinals are the worst team, I think the Rams are the worst team in the division. Look at that roster and look at the coach.
Yeah, it's still it's still, and then you can't go to sleep on either of those bottom two teams.
No, the Cardinals. Nobody ever wants to go to Arizona. You fall asleep that late window. Down in Glendale.
It is kind of nice late in the year if you live in the cold. Like when we used to go down there in St. Louis, it was beautiful.
And in Seattle, you know what they're going to bring to the table.
Exactly.
So I think it's if I was going to stack up, if I was going to say which division will account for the most wins this year, I think I might take this division. I think all these teams could win 7 games. I really do.
I'd have to look closer, but I feel the same way about the AFC North.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get to the AFC North right off the bat in the AFC. Here's one I love, and I think we both like this one. Bengals 5.5 wins. They lost every game by one possession last year. Joe Burrow's got to be good for a few wins. Everything I'm hearing is that he's the real deal. You want him to be the real deal. Everybody's got a man crush on Joe Burrow. Yep. Bring the money home, Joe. I'm going to take. This is one of the totals I'm most excited about.
They have so much talent at the skill position, Chris, on offense. That's why I think nothing to take away from Burrow, but I thought Burrow last year had a significant advantage over every guy he spread out on his offense last year.
Yeah.
And the guy that I keep hearing about and the guy that I missed watching play all last year, AJ Green.
Yeah.
AJ Green is in the conversation for the best receiver in the game, and he really is. And I know he plays in Cincinnati.
That's why people always never put him in the top 3, and he should be in that conversation.
Their offensive line cannot be worse than it was. It cannot be worse. Mixon just got signed. They drafted T. Higgins. The receivers are stacked. So I like this offense. I think they can do some damage. The division is very much improved. It's another reason why I like the Ravens under.
Yeah.
I don't think Lamar can eclipse last year. I think he'd be right there because he's going to have to throw the ball better, and he's going to be better at throwing the ball as these guys do get better with that. But Cleveland it's crazy to me knowing that there's no hype now, but they're still at like 8.5.
Yeah.
They're over under. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Yeah. And Pittsburgh, you can't doubt them.
Well,
you know they're going to be there.
I think it speaks to with the Browns. I look at them. They have so much talent. They might have more offensive skilled talent outside the quarterback position than anybody in the division. And in my personal opinion, I think the AFC North scares me more than the NFC West because I think San Francisco, as you said, is going to take a step back. Seattle might take a little step back. And I think that the Bengals and the Browns have as much upside almost as
just to be a pain in the ass, you're saying. Yeah. I got you.
And the Browns, listen, if Baker comes out, slinging it, they're going to be good. But that 8.5 win total in that division tells you how good they're going to be, and they still might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a lot of wins for that division. You're right.
Now the Steelers, 9 wins. I'm rushing to put that bet in because I don't understand the trepidation. I understand that Ben's got an injury history. He's older, that sort of thing. Their O-line's old. They add Claypool. Their defense,
Stud.
They lose the interior guy to Philly and Hargraves. All their guys are back. They franchised Bud Dupree. You saw what Minka Fitzpatrick did last year. They're going to be good. They're going to be very good. You could have put 15 quarterbacks on that Pittsburgh team last year, and they would have been in the AFC Championship. I mean,
gotcha.
They're going to be good this year. So I don't want to count them out. I'll take the over on those bad boys.
Over on Pittsburgh. All right.
And then the AFC East, here's one that I'll just say, Bills Mafia, baby. I'm Bills Mafia. I said the other day, if I could be reincarnated on any team in the NFL, it'd be the Buffalo Bills. Give me the long shot odds for them to win the Super Bowl. It's plus 2,500 to win the Super Bowl, plus 120 to win the division. Actually, I think that division is going to be up in the air, but by the time the Bills get to the postseason, I think they'll be rolling.
Wow. I'm sorry. I just can't get over not seeing Josh Allen lateral that ball against the Texans last year.
It was awful.
I can't but I know people, it was one play. It still shows me that in that second half, he lost all his technique. His footwork was out. Like when the heat got on him, he went back to his old ways, and that scares me because now you bring in a guy like Stephon Diggs who threw how many temper tantrums because he wasn't getting the ball enough in Minnesota. I still think New England wins the division. I really do.
So
I know they're
not a great value there at plus 130, but I mean, fire away.
I mean, if everything is what I'm saying about Cam, like, dude's an MVP.
But they lost Hightower. They lost.
I understand it. The defense, if you're going to get them, you got to get them early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the defense goes, that I totally hear you on that. But I mean, they still got the guys in the secondary. I like that a lot.
Secondary's still great, even though
they could cover. So. It's ingrained in my head. I can't see somebody else winning that division.
You know what? I'm not betting against the Patriots. I think a fun little flyer to take would be both the Bills and the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. The Patriots are plus 2,000. Those are two teams that whoever comes out of that division, I'm not going to scoff at in the postseason. Because if New England comes out of the division, that means they're still good. And Cam is rolling. By all accounts, he's rolling in camp, and they like him. And usually don't hear stuff like that coming out of New England. Like, things don't leak out. I've talked to a few people that are like, yeah, this dude's the real deal still. It'll be fun to see what Josh and Cam do. And the Bills, they're fun. So, for me, Bills Mafia, hedge your bets.
I thought for sure that Bill was going to get Fournette. I really did. I thought he was going to end up there.
That would make too much sense, wouldn't it?
It just reminded me of the old Corey Dillon thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We did the AFC East. We've got two divisions left here. AFC South, let's start with.
Everybody's favorite.
Listen, the Texans are going to have a bad year.
No.
Their total 7.5. Maybe I'm putting too much stake in Phillip Rivers and Frank Reich reuniting or losing Hopkins and the defense having nobody on it outside J.J. Watt, who hasn't been healthy, and that's really hard to come back from everything he's come back from. 7.5 is a win total. I'll take the under on that win total.
Okay. I don't know. I always find myself rooting for the Texans. I don't know why. I think
I don't
a couple years. I don't know. I believe in Deshaun. I think he knows he could play better. David Johnson could be a sneaky, awesome player.
Yeah.
You don't believe that?
No. I respect David Johnson. I understand that David Johnson, it's unfortunate the way, he really had it rolling, injuries, where he was playing, that sort of thing. Like I feel for him. And it's an impossibility to walk into that situation. It really fucks you over. Like, even if you're excited to go to Houston, you're like, I got to go to Houston, and I'm the guy that we traded D-Hop for. One of the most beloved players in the NFL that everybody respects. So talk about having the deck stacked against you. That's tough. The first game you have, and you're not great, and you see Red Zone on the Jumbotron, and D-Hop's lighting somebody up in the NFC West with that stable of receivers there, you're going to be like, you're going to feel this big. And it's not fair to David Johnson. I like the Colts over 9 wins, though. I love the Colts.
Really, I think the most interesting fit to me as far as a player this year is Rivers. Yeah. Because, there's plenty of people, showing the tape last year about how, it's done and he's done. I thought it was pretty telling for Reich, of all the guys who I think a ton of as an offensive guy, to say, yeah, we'll take him in. And, it most likely will be a one and done, but we'll see. I think it's fascinating.
He's a brilliant coach, and I tend to believe in him a great deal. When I was in Philly, I always said, listen, Coach deserved a lot of credit for that team, but Frank Reich also deserved a lot of credit for what the offense did. AFC West. Hold
on, I just want to give a shout out Mike Vrabel. I still love Mike Vrabel.
Oh, we love Mike Vrabel. We love the Titans. There was nobody that loved the Titans more than the Green Light Pod contingency here. We were all over it. We love the Titans. So no slander there. I just am going to stay away from Titans bets this year. It's too close to home. AFC West.
Shad Khan, shout out.
Yeah,
gotta get a Jags. Jags
shout out to Shad Khan. He probably listens to the pod. AFC West. AFC West. There's one bet. There's one bet that I'm going to give out with a lot of confidence here. Okay. The Chiefs are going to be a better football team this year. 11.5 is too short for them. They're going to be at 12 or 13.
Wow, that goes against everything, Chris. The motivation not there. You just won a Super Bowl. Your quarterback just got paid. You lost an offensive lineman because he's a doctor. Wow, you really think that?
I do. Here's why. Last year, do you remember when the Colts beat them up at home? Do you remember when the Texans beat them up at home? Do you remember when Pat got hurt and, we were relying on, who was it to win that game against the Vikings? Matt Moore. Matt Moore, who's a baller. Shout out to Matt Moore.
Heck yeah, Pac-12.
Yeah, but like there were so many things that went wrong for them. There was a time last year when we all said, "What's wrong with the Chiefs?" There was like in the middle of the season, we were like, "What's wrong with the Chiefs?" Like, are we seeing Pat take a step back? Is he?
No, nobody was saying that.
There was a time.
Come on, now you're making stuff up. You're making fake headlines for the locker room.
I'm on my New England Patriots. The whole world's against us, and nobody has been against you for 20 years. No, but here's the deal with the Chiefs. Spags did, and I said this last fall, and I caught some shit for it, one of his best jobs, if not his best job in his coaching career, making that defense a strength in a way in the postseason. Yep. It went from like just what is going on out there when I watched him early in the season against like the Lions and teams like that, to this is a good unit, and he got those guys going. You got Chris Jones back. Those guys are going to be motivated. I really do believe that because they haven't had an offseason where they're doing all the crazy partying. COVID has kind of put a damper on the Super Bowl glow. I think that they're very motivated.
Okay.
And I in that division, listen, I love Drew Lock. Love that he knows words to the Young Jeezy song that we saw him.
He sure does.
He knows those Young Jeezy words. There's new receivers. I get it. There's going to be a home field advantage for them that nobody else has because it's Mile High. It's not contingent on fans. The Raiders, we just don't know. The Chargers, you really think Tyrod Taylor, the bridge guy that he is, and no disrespect to Tyrod Taylor, at this stage in his career, he's there for a reason. I don't think in that division there's anybody that strong. You talk about a gap between the number one team and the rest of the division. Ooh, I think that the Chiefs are going to run away with this thing.
Okay, just a couple things on the Chiefs. I think they their home field advantage gets negated more than anybody in the league.
Yes.
I think now you're going to Kansas City. It's not like it has been. I think that's huge. I just see these guys. I mean, you know them, personally, the players more than I do, but the idea of coming off a championship and know what it's like to repeat. And now that everybody has another year on you, I think it's so tough to overcome, and you have to have a crazy different mindset to that. And I'm not sure if the youngsters have that. I'm not saying they can't get it or they will not get it, but I think it's still tough. And I think it worked out perfectly for them last year. The Ravens, everybody talked about the Ravens. The Chiefs just snuck in the back door. Boom, all of a sudden
now they snuck in the back door. See, this is what I'm talking about. People counting them out last year.
No, I'm saying. No, listen. They didn't have any of the shine. I thought all the pressure was on the Ravens.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then they just came in. Shit, we got home field.
The Chiefs are good
We're
again.
going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I thought they got to, when you said they were struggling and all that, they got to work on all that stuff because they didn't have to worry about everybody. Well, what's wrong? I thought we should have been more saying, the Colts, that Sunday night game, went in and beat the crap out of them.
Yes.
And it was just like, it's the Chiefs, they'll figure it out, whatever. And I think they really just got to go do that. They didn't have to answer the questions of what's wrong, because everybody was talking about how good the Ravens were.
There was a distraction.
This is Tom Brady's last stand, and are they still going to have to go to New England?
I remember
all that stuff.
When New England was supposed to go 16-0, and their defense was the Steelers.
4-0.
Yeah, come on.
They played the Jets twice.
Yeah, I mean, we were like, is this the best defense we've ever seen? I'm like, have you seen the teams they're playing? And listen, I think that they work so hard to get over this hump. Andy knows what it means. He's not going to let these guys get complacent. You have a leader in Patrick Mahomes, who I think is a real deal leader. And you have older players on the team that have been beat by New England repeatedly. And to see them finally get over that hump and the changing of the guard that occurred, I've talked about this day, where New England got beat by Miami at home and Kansas City simultaneously secured home field advantage.
Yep.
All these things were going on at once. And I think we'll look back on that day in 10 years, and I think most people agree on this, and saying, like, there was a seismic shift in the AFC. And I think the Chiefs know what that means because they've struggled through it a little bit. They've had the tough losses. They've had a reputation. Gotcha. And I think that they'll know what this means to defend it. I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I might be burning my money.
I agree with you as far as the division. They are in their own tier.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. So from the season win total, I could see the over. When we start getting to the nitty-gritty in the playoffs, I think it's going to be a lot tougher.
No doubt about it. And if it was 10.5 wins, you'd probably feel real good, huh?
Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
Absolutely.
Steve, thanks, man. It feels good to have you on again. Good to talk about this stuff. We'll be back next week. Next Friday, we'll have our week 1 picks. We'll get into some college picks too, which I know Steve is going to run me up and down the field on this year. And we're pulling together a way for the audience to take part in the show. So we might have some interactivity. That's what me and Steve are all about.
Love it.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll give away some prizes. So we'll update y'all on that throughout the week. Meantime, over on the Greenlight Podcast, we're right in the middle of our NFL preview. So please check out the NFC South preview, which will drop in a day or two on Monday, followed by the NFC West on Wednesday. So check those out too. Y'all take it easy. Stanford Steve, take care, and I appreciate you.
See you, buddy.
All right, man.